Well, alrighty, guys, welcome back to another session of backtesting where I'm going to be backtesting another half month's worth of data. This is episode number 26 of our backtesting streams where we are going from 2022 all the way up until 2026 in one single stretch. If you guys are interested in checking out the rest of these videos, this entire process is going to be recorded and posted on my YouTube. With that being said, if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate all of the support. If you guys want to get 15% off of your FX replay subscription, be sure to use the link that's in my bio. That'll get you 15% off every single month, not just the first month. With that being said, let's drop straight into it. So the last month that we did was March. We came out with AR. That's over the course of these trades here. Did really well. Some of the main things that I am focusing on leading into this session is the rules that I have put in place. I didn't type it up or anything, so I can't really show it to you guys. But overall, it's just overnight expansion equals New York consolidations. Previous days expansions over expansions equals consolidations. Messy daily profiles equals consolidation. Tight range days equals consolidation. 930 overly expands with no pullbacks equals no trades. And then your price taken out a relevant level, wait for the failure to manipulate signature, and the continuation through. And those are things that is going to be keeping me outside of lower probability days. And yeah, and away from that, it's just the regular things from there. And of course, this that we're going to go through every single trading with. With that being said, let's drop straight into it and talk it over. So taking a look here on the daily time frame, as you can tell, we are extremely bullish right now. Looking on the weekly first. What day of the week is this, actually? I don't even look. This is a Monday. Okay, so with it being Monday, with this being on the weekly time frame, we can take notice that our ultimate draw on liquidity is going to be here, trading from a weekly C2, looking to weekly C3. Long-term draw on liquidity is going to be those highs there. As you can tell, all assets pretty much is reversing away as well, as we do have a C2 looking for C3, C2 looking for C3, all assets pushing us up in the upwards direction. One thing I can take notice of right now is YM is within this range here, so I really wouldn't want to trade YM as we are just within this consolidation range. Very difficult to draw bias here and very difficult right now in general, right, for YM to be trading any sort of way. With that being said, we can take notice that we are inside of a daily gap. With this daily gap, yes, we have a daily C2 pressing me to the downside. However, that daily C2 is just trading from external in the range to internal, so we can go internal back to external. So with that all being said, we do take notice of these sweeping like this, sweeps, and now I'd like to trade external or internal to external. With that being said, looking at the daily profile does have a clean open low profile where we do tap us into this gap. And then after this gap gets tapped, however, this is a weird one because we do have a 2 a.m. C2 pushing me up to the upside. However, right now 6 a.m. is reaching back downwards, so I would ideally want to see that low get swept once more because of its relevancy to each other and how low it is in the range right now. I'd honestly just want to wait for it to get swept. We do have a very nice profile on ES. I just don't trade ES. So right there is your 6A or your London reversal, looking for New York continuation, at least minimal up to this high, and that considers your draw on liquidity. With this being said, we can already see that there is a reversal away from that equal lows. So with those equal lows like that, we really wouldn't want to trade. We just want to trade that fucking continuation away. So ideally, I'd want to see this low get impacted. Let's see if we get it, and then we can have a 10 a.m. reversal from here. Right, so let's see. YM is ripping us upwards, but the thing about YM is we are trading within this range here, which is just like, I mean, you could trade up higher if you really wanted to. Let YM get you a 15-minute swing, because we don't really have a 4-hour swing formation, right? Ideally, we need to see these lows get impacted in order for me to trade up higher. So we're going to wait here, see if we get like a 15-minute swing formation. Here's your 15-minute C2 forming on YM. Would we want to trade YM up higher to this draw on liquidity? Yeah, which is within previous day. Yeah, it looks good. And then we could trade YM up higher, or nah, fuck that. We're not trading away from those equal lows. I just don't want to trade YM because we're still within this range. But it is a very nice daily profile, open, low, high, close off of this low, as that is SMT break. Yeah, fuck. 2, 3. Yeah, we'll trade YM up higher just because it is a lot more bullish than pretty much all these other assets. You could trade ES. ES is the best asset to get to this high, which YM is failing to manipulate. So we would want to trade ES up to this high, and that'd be the best asset right there, bro. This 15-minute C2, trade the C3 upwards. But we're going to trade YM because YM is the... Gotta wait for 3 more minutes. There's your 3 minutes. Entry is here. 15-minute C2, trade the 15-minute C3, continuation of this expansion leg, all the other assets expanding. I can't trade this because of these equal lows. Ideally, this would be the best option to trade up higher, but bias is internal to external, looking to trade up higher to these draws like this, and then that would be your TP. Enter here, boom, let it play. See, stops goes break even as soon as you cross that high. Damn, NQ did rip. So NQ is ripping away right now. Let's see if I can get on side with an NQ trade. So my stops is at break even here. Ideally the best case scenario. So like I said, right, the best trade to trade was going to be considered ES, and we could have went up to that high and maybe a little higher. So let's see if we can get on side with a NQ trade here. And it looks like we're going to get stopped out on break even on YM anyway. So yeah, break even on YM, and then full reversal. Never mind. So full reversal here. Maybe you can go lower here. See if you can get a 15-minute swing formation. Trade that C2 and then let the C3 close. Okay. Well, now it becomes straight up chop. I really don't have a bias. It's just so hard because this is a chop fest, right? On the higher time frame, I couldn't trade away from these lows, but ideally the best asset to trade up higher was going to be NQ, right? Because why? It's not within this range. The reasoning why I was very hesitant on trading YM is because this is very consolidating and we're trading away from these lows. The thing is, we already expanded away from this low, so I can anticipate for those higher prices upwards. The thing about NQ is we were expanding to this low, so I don't want to go and trade away from here until we expand away. Once we do expand away, we impact this relevant high. After that relevant high gets impacted, we wait for that valid C2 and then trade the C3 up higher to go up to those next draws on liquidity to break the SMTs that's located above. Obviously, I don't really trade at 12 o'clock, but this would be something like logic wise, and you can go break even as soon as you cross a relevant high. See if you get it at 2R. And that's market close. And yeah, whatever. But other than that, that would be basically the trade idea. Not trading YM again. YM is also very high, and the problem as well with that trade on YM is a very large wick does not support expansion. So this day just wanted to close as a C2, so that's kind of a big reason as well why we was trading a reversal day. So when trading that reversal day, we want to trade up to the daily's opening price, which is right around here, and that's kind of where market did go and tap into and had a good reaction off of. With it having that good reaction off of, why did it close the way that it did and not want to push up is because we are trading that daily C2, so we want to just trade up until the opening price because of the large wick. See how expansion candles have small wicks, large wicks is more reversal candles, and we do want to go and trade it up to the opening price and not that much further. So with this being said, now we would be trading a daily C2, looking to trade daily C3 as it already kind of low-key expanded, right? So with the low-key expansion up higher here, we do see that we want to go up to further draws on liquidity. We are taking notice that YM is finally breaking outside of its range, going from daily C2 to C3. We have that internal external type logic. I do have further draws on liquidity that I do want to reach to, but however, we are closing right now. We are at the highest point of the day. With us being at the highest point of the day, the daily profile is pretty valid to just go straight upwards. I do not want to take away from the fact that we are in a bullish day, as we want to close as a bullish candle. So I'm not going to be going and being like, oh, there's no lower day, so we're going to short it. No, that's not the fucking case, bro. That's not how you do things, right? So with that being said, we can see that it is an Asia lower day, and we are expanding away with a very small wick. Price is ripping us up higher. Of course, there's not really a very valid low a day, but I'm not going to go and try to reverse off of this high when there's further draws on liquidity within this bullish market. What I would more so want to wait for is the different phase in price to pass, because we did just impact this relevant level, and I would like to see just a pullback into the range, as there is further draw on liquidity for us to go up higher. I would need to see a push back down into the range in order for us to get back up higher, because of the fact I would need to trade away from a C2 formation. So right now we are getting a pretty valid V-shaped reversal off of that high. All assets is reversing price right now. 10 o'clock is reversing this price frame, where we can take notice that we are having a very, very aggressive push here. I would still be looking at this as a higher time frame retracement, as this is a higher time frame retracement into this 1 hour gap, and now we are going to be respecting that gap with a 15-minute swing formation. And from that 15-minute swing formation, this is nothing but a higher time frame retracement to me. 15-minute swing, V-shaped reversal. Looking for the V-shaped reversal, accumulation, manipulation, looking like a distribution back downwards to the daily opening price. I really don't want to go and trade all the way back down, just because of the level of wick this candle does have. It's not very nice for me to trade higher. As you can tell, NQ is very weak right now, and it is making a pretty deep fucking push downwards. I really can't stick to my bullish bias here. Yeah, I really wouldn't want to stick to my bullish bias. Let's see if we get like a 15-minute swing up to the upside. There's your 15-minute swing, 15-minute CISD, push upwards, V-shaped reversal, CISD, push back up back up to the highest point of the day, and some. But let's go and put my stops to this, as that is your 3-minute OB, and we should be able to press up higher. So let's see if we get this as your 10 o'clock opens low. Kind of a large wick on the 10 a.m. candle, but we can long this back up to the 10 a.m.'s opening price. Let's see if we get it, and we get ran out. So with that run out there, it's just a fucking chop day. I ain't going front about that. I thought we was with that 15-minute C2 and 15-minute V-shaped reversal, but obviously that's just a retracement. Again, we could try this one, but I'm not going to try it because I already got stopped out. So we got stopped out of that, and it just becomes lower probability for us to do that. But yeah, so wicked out of that guy, only for it to hit full TP after getting a new 15-minute swing formation here. Yeah, so we had that 15-minute C3. I was looking to trade C4, 5 upwards. However, when does it do that is pushing into the 12 o'clock candle, and the 12 o'clock does have that 15-minute C2. And trading into that 12 o'clock candle for that next 6 hour to be an expansion candle upwards, right? Unfortunately, that's just fucking what it is. And yeah, so wrong. I mean, I was correct to not fade the profile and the higher time frame draws. I was wrong to think that we were about to head up higher there. I was thinking that we was setting this 11 a.m. C3, but not only 11 a.m. C3, but this is a V-shaped reversal, 3-minute CISD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Draw is the current high of day, respecting that 1 hour gap. The 1 hour gap does have this sweeping of this relative level, and then we are pushing us up to the upside, confirming that these gaps and these OBs are getting held with a 1 hour C2 as well, alongside with 15-minute C3, pushing me upwards with a 15-minute CISD with a very strong V-shaped reversal, right? So we're looking at a universal model, internal, external, intraday profile, open, low, high, close, further draws on liquidity with clear phases in price. Entry signature is the V-shaped reversal, 15-minute pullback play with a 15-minute C3, trading the 15-minute C4. I let the C3 close and traded the 15-minute C4. Draw on liquidity was still available, as there is further draws. That's why we didn't want to go lower. V-shaped reversal on the lower time frame. frame, as there was that V-shaped reversal on this lower time frame with heavy displacement and a 15-minute CISD, confirming that we were going higher already, confirming that lower high day with gaps away, confirming the gaps away with the 15-minute C3 formation, confirming the swing formation with the V-shaped reversal. Targets was still available, and we was also setting the low of that 10 a.m. candle with that 15-minute candle. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Why did it have to sweep out once more in order for us to go back up higher? That doesn't make sense to me, right? So why did we have to sweep one more time after a 15-minute CISD, and why did this 15-minute OB get invalidated with it being the way that it was, right? Correct draw on liquidity. Why did this not work? Relevant level, V-shape reversal, 15-minute C3, entry, fractal, and just fucking chopped. Why the fuck did it not work? That's the question, right? That is the genuine question here. 10 a.m. open low. I guess you could say because the 10 a.m. candle had a very large wick, but even then, like it expanded. It didn't expand in the 1400 candle. It expanded in the fucking 10 a.m. candle. I guess you could have traded this 15-minute C2 for that 1400 continuation, right? 1400 continuation. That's a good trade, but nonetheless, I don't understand why it had to come back down and sweep me out. Like, I'm trying to figure it out because I fucking hate when this happens. And you can't keep making you really can't keep making the excuse of, oh, it happens. Oh, it's a good trade. Oh, no, there's a fucking reason why it's happening, obviously. You know what I mean? If it keeps happening, there's a reason why. Just make sure you just got to stop it from happening. So why did it? Let's stare at it and fucking figure this shit out together. How do we avoid this? Maybe the V shape was inconclusive, took too long. I mean, these are full body closures opening up of gaps all the way up through it too as well. So I actually entered with gaps. As that 15-minute CISD as well. Nah, it's because there's no 5-stage SMT, bro. Fuck, I don't know, bro. Internal, external, strong model as well. Tap in, retrace. Looking for that next draw on liquidity. Just higher. Whatever, bro. Honestly, fuck you, dog. All right, well, obviously, price does rip all the way up to where we wanted it to go to. Let's see if it gives it to us. Right, so there's your 2R attached to it. Stopped out there. 15 minutes CISD. Fuck, I don't know, bro. I don't know why that failed. I ain't going front to you there. But obviously, I guess you could trade this guy if that's what you wanted to trade. It was this new 15-minute OB, as that's your 1400 open, low, high, close. But even then, bro, it's like, fuck. You know what I mean? It's fucked up, dude. I couldn't really tell you why that happened. Trying to figure that out, but fuck, dude. I don't know. Alright, so daily open, low, high, close, obvious, internal, external type model. Daily does open low, goes up higher. YM taps this high. There's SMT at these highs now. Not really interested in anything lower anyway. I am trying to trade up higher. This is a Wednesday, looking like on the weekly profile is a Monday accumulation or Monday reversal, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday expansion to those draws on liquidity, trading that internal external model. 6 a.m. C3 formation, looking for a 10 a.m. C4. We are trading within a C4 candle right now. I would ideally, we don't have a 30-minute C2 or anything like that, or actually we do, as there's SMT like this, and we are pushing us up higher. So I really don't need to wait for a 15-minute swing formation. If I did want to trade up higher here, I could just trade that 10 a.m. open, low, high, close, or we could trade this as a positional entry, as there is a 30-minute C2 already, as we are pressing up here, and that's a SMT where we can trade. Actually, let's do it like that, right? As a 10 a.m. positional for that 10 a.m. to open low, tap us in, and then go up higher. Stops can go to break even, and now we would go break even, and then there would be your 2R, right? Because that would be your 10 a.m. positional entry going off of this 30-minute C2, 15-minute OB as well, as this is a 30-minute C2 formation, as we are trading that 30-minute C2 away from it, as this is SMT like this, and we can take notice of the accumulation, manipulation, looking for 10 a.m. to expand even higher up to those next draws on liquidity. If you was to miss that first entry there, you wouldn't be able to trade a 15-minute swing here, but you could go and trade the 10 a.m. open, low, high, close into that draw, and then you can enter here. Stops got to go break even as soon as you cross the highest point of the day, though, because that's a relevant point of interest where you would stuff. So it'd be very difficult for you to get on side with that. Let's see if we can get a 15-minute continuation entry here, because there is further draw available. We'd like to see this gap hold price up to the upside, and no V-shaped reversal getting off of that 15-minute OB. Here would be your new 15-minute model there, looking to see if we get a V-shaped reversal. Do we get one? I wouldn't trust this OB. That's not very strong, but this here is very strong. And now we're trading that that C3 candle, right? C2, trading the C3 up higher to those next draws on liquidity, which is located above us. It stopped out at break even. Why do we have to go break even? You got to go break even at the highest point of the day, and then you would just get stopped out at break even, right? So that would be basically it. How did we get on side with this? Was recognizing we are within that 30-minute C2, trading that 30-minute C3, 15-minute C2 3, trading that 15-minute C4, the 10 a.m. open low profile, as the daily profile is very clean, open low, high close, pushing up to this high as your first level draw on liquidity, and then ultimately that next draw on liquidity, which is the highs that's to the left of us, that is located here on the daily chart, as that is your weekly objective, right? So also taking a look at daily profile, just from the top down, right? We have a Monday internal, external, Monday reversal, right? So with that Monday reversal, we're looking for Tuesday and Wednesday expansion. Then you got the daily profile, open, low, high, close, internal to external. 4-hour profile is 6 a.m. C3, looking for 10 a.m. C4. 1-hour profile is just you're pushing up outside of these gaps, and expansion away from this low means that this is the lowest point of the day, finding that low point of the day, trading away from a 30-minute C2. So I'm trading within that 30-minute C3, 15-minute OB already in full effect from this gap, meaning that this low, especially with the SMT, we do not anticipate that to get impacted. And then we do have that accumulation. I'm trading it as a positional entry off of the CISD here, and then we get that expansion upwards to that 2R that's located above. Could you have just entered it positionally? Yeah, you could have, and then you just go stops to break even as soon as you cross, and then you just shoot it for that 2R mark. Do we get it? Looks like we might have missed it, honestly. Yeah, we might have missed that 2R. Nonetheless, I probably would have got out at 2R anyway, or 1.9, just because of the fact that I would have been shitting my pants because it fucking came all the way back down to break even pretty much. But with that being said, that was basically the trade there. So let's move on from here. Okay, so taking a look here, daily time frame, as we can tell, very bearish previous day off of the relevant level. So with that relevant level getting impacted, very bearish previous day, we can actually anticipate for us to be more on the bearish end, trading from external to internal, most likely doing a V-shaped reversal. This here is an open high, as there is no wick on that daily candle. There is SMT at that wick. However, this is a daily open high profile, as we do have a V-shaped reversal here. This V-shape, however, is FOMC, which leaves this as data high, which we might actually not be reversing off of. Daily profile is telling me that we are open low right now. Why is this 18 and this is 22? Oh wait, this is the 4-hour time frame. Sorry. We do have an AMD that is forming, accumulation, manipulation, and looking like a distribution, as there is SMT here. So if there's SMT like that and the assets is reversing, and the asset setting that SMT is reversing price, there is a possibility for us to go up higher. We are inversing this 4-hour gap here. So with this inversion of this 4-hour gap, that's telling me bullish order flow, as this is getting invalidated. PD arrays in the bearish sense is getting invalidated. We have an SMT asset setting the SMT is getting validated. 930 is reversing price on this asset. We can actually see the FOMC high as your draw on liquidity, as that's going to be considered your what is that called, data highs. We are not respecting this whatsoever, right? We are obviously pushing us up higher. So with the pushing of us up higher, I'm looking to trade NQ, as NQ is the closest to this high. However, I would need to see a 15-minute swing formation in order to get on side with it, just because price is pretty expanded. I'm not within any C2 formation or C3s, so I'm going to wait for a 15-minute swing formation, because if price has expanded this high already, I need to see that different phase to push me downwards first, or just fucking rip. Holy fuck, dude. So here would be like your 15-minute swing here, and you would be trading this into the 12 o'clock candle. Ooh, not a nice swing formation there. I would more so wait to see the continuation, because that's a downwards move here, and then you would just wait for a new 15-minute swing here. There would be your 15-minute swing formation once this closes. Here's your 15-minute swing. Confirm the swing with a V-shape. Confirm the V-shape with the CISD. Once I get this CISD, let's see if we get it. So no CISD there. And then this would go back down lower. This is a retracement. Let's see if we get a new 15-minute swing here. New 15-minute swing. Not V-shaping though. Okay, well, that's fucking not to me. I couldn't get on side with this just because there's nothing here for me to trade away from. 10 a.m. does just open straight higher. Nothing for me to trade away from there, and just no swing formations really. And I don't really want to say that this is your protected level, even though we expanded up higher. It's just that we are at the highest point of the day currently, and it's just like, yeah, yes, you do want to go up to data highs, but you don't know when the retracement is going to happen, right? So we do get tapped into this relevant high, get that accumulation, fail to manipulate it, and then the closure through. Yes, we could have just went and utilized this as your entry and this as your stop loss, as that 10 a.m. positional. Well, the problem with this is, yo, what happened? Okay, oh sorry, my screen turned off and then it turned back on. And then now we are expanding away. I just don't have that 15-minute C2, right? So I like to trade 15-minute C2 to 15-minute C3s. We just don't. I always trade the C3, right? But we do not have. There's no swing formations, right? These are just unfilled gaps. I like to trade the C3s. That's just what I find is working best for me. So there really wouldn't be any trade here. Not even on the hourly. Is this an hourly C3? Right, this is not an hourly C3. Or I guess you could say it is because it's SMT'd. But even then, bro, I'd much rather, if price is already expanded, I'd much rather just have a new alignment get formed, a new swing, because this is way too fucking high up there for me to go about my day, right? So with that being said, nothing there for me, and that's fine. Let's just go and continue from here. So obviously the draw on liquidity was going to be considered FOMC high, as FOMC high was like, it was disrespecting that previous whatever, right? We can take notice that price did go and it actually is respecting the FOMC levels. Now we are traded into previous days low here on YM has just been fucked, huh? It's like, dog, YM is so ugly. Like, look at this chop fest. This is like white, black, white, black, white, white, black, white, black. What? Bro, that's a chop fest if I ever seen one. Am I right? All right. So taking a look here. Honestly, I think we're just going to consolidate here. Reasonings why I think we're just going to consolidate is we are trading within this range right now. And I do want to take notice of how the weekly profile has went and performed itself, right? So here's your 1800 on the weekly profile. Weekly opens low, expands up higher, impacts some relevant highs, reversal off of this relevant high. And now we are obviously trading down lower within this 12 o'clock candle, traded down lower. And we are really failing to manipulate out this low here. With the failure to manipulate this low here, we can see that the daily profile is an open low profile where we now are running into relevant levels. And 930 does look like it's reversing price off of this relevant level to trade up higher. The problem with this is on the weekly time frame is that these are large wicks here. And I really don't know if I would anticipate for too much to happen. I would like to trade external to internal. However, the phases and price is really not supporting anything to do that, right? We're trading within this range here on NQ. NQ. We're trading lower here on ES. I would like to trade down lower, but the 6 a.m. candle is trading as a C2 going from external to internal. And the daily profile does support me to go back up into the range. So I would be actually looking to take a long here on YM, but the problem with this is that the high day is actually set with something of true significance. So if I'm taking a look at this, just basing it off of all of that facts, I really don't know what the fuck I would want to do, because I don't want to trade lower because the low week is already set with significance. I don't want to trade up higher because this is a bearish order flowing market. So it's like, what do I want to do here? Right, I guess you could wait to see if this is going to be an SMT high like that, and we could actually trade down lower on NQ, as this is a nice daily open high profile, and YM is failing to manipulate this low, with YM failing to manipulate that low now, and actually looking like it's just chilling out here, chilling out at this low. We can trade NQ as that lagging asset to catch up to with where that low is, as there is this accumulation signatures here. I would like to see a little bit better of a sweep here on NQ, as there actually is an SMT that's located like that, as ES has taken that high, and now we can see that strength is switching into NQ to be that weaker asset, as there is that 15-minute C2, 30-minute C2 here, 15-minute closure, V-shape reversal, as we do have this sweeping of this high here like that. But this is all accumulation, really. I guess, yeah, let's trade this. Let's fucking try it out. 2 stages of divergence at the highs, equal lows below, lagging asset logic for NQ to catch up to with where all these other assets are located, as well as that further draw on liquidity that is located below. Let's see if we get it. Lower probability conditions here. I'm going to get out right here just because I'm recognizing that this is an ask trade, as this is just a consolidation and we're getting stopped out for sure. So got out there for a small little $100 loss. Would have been break even anyway. This just became lower consolidation signatures. As soon as I seen this deep pull back into the range and the push back down, that's fucking terrible, bro. That's just showing you not intentions, and it's just a consolidation right here. So bad trade on my part. Shouldn't have been participating in that. But nonetheless, I did take notice that we did have this deep pullback, expansion away from it, accumulation, manipulation, expansion, accumulation, manipulation, looking for that further expansion to break the SMT low that YM is failing to reverse off of, that ES is failing to reverse off of, wanting to go and break that low and even break these lows that YM is not respecting either. So with that being said, that's why I wanted to trade down lower. But like I said, the profile of the weekly, the profile of the daily, the profile of pretty much everything was not supporting that type of move. So higher time frame, it was not the best asset to, not the best thing to trade. Here we can take notice that NQ is within a consolidation range now. So with NQ being within that consolidation range, we do see that V-shaped reversal off of that relevant level. We do expand up into a very relevant level, however, on YM. With that relevant level getting impacted, my overall higher time frame draw on liquidity obviously is going to be considered that CPI high, as we do have this accumulation, manipulating out this accumulation lows, expansion away from that accumulation lows into this relevant high. This is where you can anticipate for that different phase in price. We do have further draw on liquidity that is located above me. NQ is out of the question right now, as we are trading within this range, and with us trading within this daily's range, everything within this is considered noise to me and not something that I do want to go and participate in. We do take notice of the daily profile is internal external, as my universal model is internal external, London reversal, New York continuation, 2 a.m. C2, 6 a.m. C3, looking for a 10 a.m. C4, failure to manipulate this high to continue to those CPI highs. However, after this impacted that high, we do want to anticipate for that different phase in price, where I would like to see these gaps get held up, as this is your accumulation, and I would like to see a manipulation of these lows and form a 15-minute swing formation off of these lows here to tell me that these lows are being respected to trade up higher. So this would be your 15-minute swing formation like this, as this is now going to be going back up to the highest point of the day. Just a nice retracement after a relevant high gets impacted, not a reversal, right? Not trading NQ because the profile is chopped, but we have this accumulation, manipulation, distribution, small wick on a daily, 15-minute C2, V-shape or reversal within. Ooh, fuck. Not valid anymore. Not the nicest C2. Don't want to trade that anymore, right? That's going to sweep out those lows. So here would be a new sweep of these lows located like this, looking for a new 15-minute C2 formation. V shape on the 15-minute C2, trade the C3, right? V shape on the 15-minute C2, trade the C3. This is the C2's closure, 11:30 move, pushing us upwards to those draws on liquidity, which is all that low resistance, as that is just a retracement, and confirming this AMD to go and trade higher now. You could ultimately be at break even now because these closures over. Expansion does not support deep retracements, and we wouldn't really want to see us come back lower anymore. So we go break even here, as we did sweep out these lows here, and now that becomes a protected level, even more better. Looking to trade up to these highs. And then there's your 2R. Right? So with that being said, how do we get on side with this? Is the tap into a relevant level, traded from external range to internal. Internal of the range is going to be considered these gaps that's on the higher time frame, 1 hour gaps. How do we go and confirm 1 hour gaps? Is by trading these 15-minute swing formations. So those gaps is getting confirmed by this 15-minute C2. Within the 15-minute C2, what is going to be confirming that C2? The V-shape reversal, very strong closure, accumulation, manipulation, looking for the distribution, entry, and trade the C3. Here's your C3. That's also forming the low of that 11 a.m. candle with the 15-minute C2, also framing the low of the 10 a.m. candle with the 15-minute C2 outside of that 1 hour gap to trade back up to the current high of day. Reasoning why we made this deeper retracement here is because we do tap us into a very relative high, as the next relevant high is higher, and that can send us in that deeper phase of price where we can make that deeper retracement. All that deeper retracement did was rebalance this price leg that's located here. With the rebalancing of that price leg, that's when you go and trade that continuation move. How can you tell that this was just a retracement as well? Is by the low resistance equity and its lack in urgency to the downside, right? Why are we not trading NQ now, as this asset is right here? It's because we are trading within this higher time frame range. Anything taken within this higher time frame range is lower probability, as the higher time frame range is going to be considered that fucking is ranging, bro. You know what I mean? It's a higher time frame consolidation, and you don't want to trade consolidations on a lower time frame. Don't trade consolidations on a higher time frame. Basically like that, right? So moving on to the next day. As you can tell, market is making a move right now to these lows. I'm just going to wait till these lows get impacted, and we can trade range low to range high, as we want to go and take out all of that low resistance liquidity. So right now it's setting up for the best fucking trade of all time, right? Alright, so taking a look here on YM, as you can tell, we do have a very clear daily profile, as we do have this sweeping here, presses us upwards. This is my long-term draw on liquidity, taps us into a very relevant level. After we get tapped into a relevant level, we accumulate, we manipulate, and we're setting that low day with that 6 a.m. C2 off of this accumulation low like this. Now we have this high is going to be considered my draw on liquidity, kind of like that accumulation manipulation profile. Low key, not really the best in terms of like, okay, and not terms in terms of like it could be considered a broadening formation. This 1 hour CISD does show me potential for it to be considered the low a day. We do have a 930 actually reversing price within this candle. 930 C2, I can trade that C3 up to the upside. We are expanded away. We do form this 15-minute gap if it wants to, because of its relevancy with this high here. We could go and use this gap to form a 15-minute C2, but I don't mind trading a 10 a.m. ICISD just like this. And the reasoning why is because I'm already operating within a 930 C3, right? A 30-minute C3. We are not overly expanded yet. This is a very strong closure as well, so we can trade that 10 a.m. open low high close as we are trading up higher. Oh, fuck me, man. What the fuck is that? Yo, what happened there? Away from that, yeah, I'm not trading anything from there. That's supposed to go straight to draw. Yo, what? It just became a consolidation and just not. I guess you could say this is high resistance. Nah, bro. Nah, there's no fucking way. That looks so clean. So clean. I guess you could say that this high getting swept was a red flag, right? And then the push down and the reversal. But this is just your accumulation, manipulation, looking for the distribution up higher. So I don't know why that failed so badly. It went to the next relevant low before going and continuing up higher. What time was this at? 1400 reversal. And then Asia PM reversal, Asia continuation. Wow, that was crazy. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Obviously though, like I said, right, we're gonna go from range low and we're gonna expand up to range high. So with this all being said, this is gonna be considered your draw on liquidity now. We are breaking through these highs, failing to manipulate, and that means higher prices to ultimately this high as that next draw on liquidity, right? So with that next draw on liquidity is there, I'm gonna mark out these highs like this. I do want to be aware of when we do tap into this high because they are separated a little, right? Pretty relevant to me. All assets are expanding. I'd more so want to trade higher on. I'm going to be attempting to trade higher on NQ as NQ is having that very strong reverse. I mean, all of them is having the strong reversal I'm pushing out right now. We are trading within a 1 hour C3, 30-minute C2. NQ is obviously the most bullish asset. Looks like YM wants to go down lower or even consolidate right here, waiting for NQ to go up higher. Asia does push us upwards, so this is kind of showing me overnight expansion, and 930 is overly expanded, so we may be staying outside of this in the case that the assets do want to accumulate. So we do have an accumulation signature here. We are about to close as a 15-minute C2 on YM. However, there is no V-shape reversal here. So there is going to be considered that consolidation signature as we are making that deeper retracement right now. So with the deeper retracement, we can take notice of this 15-minute C2 about to close here. No 15-minute C2 formations, and we are just reversing price. I was not bearish heading into the day, nor am I going to be considered bullish anymore. I guess we could trade this 15-minute C3 as long as there's a V-shaped reversal here. V-shaped reversal. It's kind of just very extremely bearish of a candle, though. I'm not going to front there. Kind of difficult to try to trade this. I mean, unless there's a continuation entry, then there could be a push. It's just very difficult, bro. I ain't going front about that. Like, there's a continuation entry like that. Take it up to this current high a day. How's my daily candle look? Is it overly expanded? I'll stay out of it. I'll stay out of it just because of all of these fucking expansion candles to the upside. It's just not attractive when the overnight expands this aggressively, right? Anything within New York is going to be considered lower probability. Does it work? Probably. It looks like it is going to work. Yeah, so it does work here. Just trading that C2 formation and if it's 15 and C4. I don't feel comfortable longing after all of this already, because what does that mean for New York, right? When we expand 200 points in the overnight session, where every day is about 200 points, it's like I'm not trying to go and catch the largest range day at the top of the day. It's just not valid for me personally. It says in my rules, right? Overnight expansions equals New York consolidations, where we can anticipate for that different phase in price. So with that being said, I just stayed out of it just because that's where my rules say statistically when there is a massive overnight expansion, that means that the next day or the current day will just fucking chop, really. With that being said, again, another massive overnight expansion. Relevant draws is already impacted. I really wouldn't be trading anything here again, so there wouldn't be anything for me. With that being said, like, you see how that 10 o'clock candle doesn't even trade fucking anywhere? It's just because of the fact that that overnight expansion into this relevant high is just going to do what? Consolidate right here. You don't really want to trade anything within this consolidation because relevant levels have been impacted prior compared to the driver. And then now we can see, I guess you could say the reversal. You could have traded this reversal here on YM as the external internal type model, and we could have traded any swing formation here, which would be this 1045 swing there off of that C3, hit that C4. Let's see what it looks like here on the 3-minute time frame. Confirm the swing formation with a V-shaped reversal. C4, entry, stops, target 2R. Yeah, so no 2R there. Just fine though. Cool. So trading internal, external. I mean, fuck, dude. It's just so difficult to long at the highest points of days, right? So it's like literally it's a Friday after massive expansion into a relevant level. Am I really trying to go and trade up higher? No, I'm trying to trade down lower. Why? To trade TGIF. So I'd wait for a reversal to trade back down into the range. However, profile is chopped and does not support that type of action, as it is an open high low high low high low close. So we do not want to go open high low high low high low close. I would more so just want to trade nothing anymore. Realistically, I don't want to trade back into this range, because then that would be just seek and destroy. Not really my style. I would skip the whole day in general. Why as well? It's just because I don't want to trade up higher after 4 days of just pure expansion. And it's a Friday after all of this expansion into what? Nothing, right? Nothing. So it's like, how do I fucking do that when you can anticipate for those different phases in price to occur after 1, 2, 3, 4 days of expansion? You're fucking tripping, bro. Monday expanding up even higher with no wick. What is going on right now, realistically speaking? So with that being said, I can trade NQ as the lagging. Oh shit, what happened? I can trade NQ as the lagging asset logic, as we are setting it internal external. YM is really just expanding and not turning around, so we can trade up to here. Daily profile is very clear for an open low high close. Very bullish expansions right now. AMD already taking place. 1 hour C2, we do impact this relevant high. However, with us impacting this relevant high that's located here, that can send us into a different phase in price. With the different phase in price that we want to see is we actually just want to see a retracement and trade within a 15-minute C2 formation. So we're going to wait for this 15-minute C2 to form, as we are actually within that C3. So we are within a 30-minute C2. So I could just trade this 10 a.m. open low high close if I really wanted to. However, because we are sweeping, I would much rather just wait for that 15-minute closure. Here's your 15-minute C2, looking to trade 15-minute C3 up to the upside, looking for that V-shaped reversal here on the 15-minute C3. Here's your 15-minute C3 reversal, and now you're trading that 15-minute C2 into C3 up to those next draws on liquidity, which is going to be considered higher. And this is your daily open low high close, accumulation, manipulation, looking for the further distribution back up to the upside. See if we get it. Fuck, what the fuck is going on right now? What the fuck is that? Holy fucking A, dude. Oh, ES went and took this high and then reversed extreme off of it. So that actually makes us bearish there. What the fuck, man? I thought this looked super obvious in my personal opinion. No. Is that not an accumulation? Is this not a fucking accumulation manipulation looking for distribution up higher, as the daily profile is very clean to do consolidation, right? Consolidation, manipulation, looking for a distribution, expansion up higher. Correct? Is that not fucking correct? You know what I mean? And then we tap into this high, and then we get the failure to manipulate. 10 a.m. open low high close. 10 a.m. opens low, accumulates after this high gets impacted, right? Accumulates, manipulates with a V-shaped reversal, trading that 15-minute C3 continuation up higher. Why would the fucking thing not fucking work, dude? And then you go open low of the daily profile, trading the expansion of the daily up to these highs that's located above, and instead it just fucking fails. Why would it not work there, right? Is this not the world's most fucking, you know what I mean? Tapping us into some 15-minute gaps and shit for us to have that boom, 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 continuation, accumulation, manipulation, looking for the distribution back upwards. Why would that not work there? All assets is expanding up higher, failing to manipulate to go up higher. Why would that not work there? Why would that not work there? And then you can take notice that ES actually keeps on continuing upwards as well as all assets is already bullish. Why would that not work there? I'm trying to figure that out. I can't fucking tell you. What the fuck was that? Nah, fuck, I don't know. Shut the fuck up with your all ass motherfucker. Fucking bitch ass, bro. And then you even have the new week opening gap that needs to be fucking filled. Yeah, you're crazy. You're fucking insane. Oh shit, it's already April. It's been April. My bad. Let's go and take a look at the statistics. Well, I got clapped in that second session. Not gonna front there. Nonetheless, yeah. So 10R on the month. 10R here on the month. Didn't do too well. Came out with 2 wins and 3 losses. So not entirely the best. Still 10R on the month. It can't go wrong there, right? These last 3 days was very good days. Just I couldn't trade them because of overnight expansion and 9:30 overly expands. That's outside of my control, right? I trade the 10 a.m. candle, and it's just like there's still very high, as you can tell, there's still very high frequency, right? And you can take notice of what is like the win rate for this month, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins and 1, 2. Or that's like a break even. I took it off, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins and 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. So 50% win rate. 7 wins, 4 losses, 50% win rate. A little less than 50%, as 8 wins and 4 losses would have been 50%. Oh wait, is that 50%? I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know what 50% means. Is 50% 8 wins, 8 losses? Because 8 divided by 8 equals 1. Holy fuck, dude. I'm cooked, bro. I don't know what the fuck is. Yo, what? What is 8 wins and 4 losses? Is that 50% if I win? No, I'm pretty sure 50% is if I had 8 wins and 8 losses. I'm pretty sure that's 50%. So what is 8 wins and 4 losses? That is, how the fuck do you even find percentage? 8 divided by 4? No, that's 2. So it's 4 divided by 8? No. Oh yeah, no. 4 divided by 8 is 50%. It's 0.5, that's why. Or is it, no, it's fucking, I know that's wrong, bro. How do you find percentage? 8 plus 4. Wait, so 8 plus 4 is equal to 12. Divided that by 8. No. 8 plus, it's wrong too. 8 plus 4 divided by, I don't, I don't fucking know, bro. How the fuck, dude? How much percent? How much? What is the win rate? What is the win rate of 8 wins and 8 wins and 4 losses? So that should be okay. So 66%. So that looks right. So how do you find it? To calculate win rate, first find the total number of games played by adding it together. Fuck, we're about to learn today. Okay, and then apply the win rate formula. So the win rate is calculated by dividing the number of wins by the total number of games. So 8 divided by 12. See, I told you, dog. So it's 4 plus 8. 4 plus 8 is equal to 12. Divide that by 8, which is equal to 1 point. Fuck. Oh, wait, no. It's 8 divided by 12. All right, there you go. Now we got 66%. So it's win rate would be considered for this month. There you go. See, Google solves everything. Would be considered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins, and 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, and 1, 2, 3, 4 break even. So 7 plus 4. Let's just do the wins and losses. Break evens don't even count for anything, so it doesn't confirm wins or losses, right? 7 plus 4 is equal to 11, and then you go 7 divided by 11 equals 711 is equals to 63%, 63.6%. So very nice win rate there. That'll get you to 10R. Shooting at 2R solid at a 67% win rate will get you up to 10R a month, I guess you could say. Sorry for that fucking ramble. Other than that, I'm gonna go and do more hindsight. I like hindsight. I've been doing hindsight a lot lately. But other than that, I'm gonna log off. If you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys in the next session. Peace.